From April 28 to May 2, EastEnders turns up the heat as Walford becomes a boiling pot of tension, heartbreak, and betrayal. Nicola's past is on the verge of detonating, Priya faces her most grueling test yet, and Harry walks a dangerous tightrope between flirtation and fallout. This week promises to deliver one jaw-dropping moment after another, as relationships are tested, truths are exposed, and loyalties are questioned. Stay tuned as we break down all the shocking twists, emotional meltdowns, and suspenseful showdowns that are about to rock the square. Nicola's carefully buried secrets begin to claw their way back to the surface, and leading the charge is Teddy, whose instincts won't let him ignore the cracks in her story any longer. Driven by whispers, doubts, and the growing distance between him, Teddy finally confronts Nicola about the one name she never wanted to hear again, Shireen. With the weight of the past pressing down on him, the air between the couple turns electric. Teddy's questions are blunt, his stare unrelenting. But Nicola, visibly shaken, pushes back hard. She warns him that if Harry were to learn the truth about Shireen's tragic death, it could send him spiraling into a place they might never pull him back from. Teddy listens, but there's hesitation behind his promise of silence. He agrees, for now, to keep the truth hidden. But the doubt is clear in his eyes. He's not convinced that keeping quiet is protecting anyone. As tension brews beneath the surface, their son Barney, oblivious to the storm, innocently comments on the coldness between his parents. His words strike Nicola like a bolt of lightning. The guilt, the fear, the memories, something inside her begins to unravel. Then, just as things appear to settle, Teddy drops a bombshell of his own. He's got a plan, one that might involve exposing Nicola's secret, or burying it for good. What is he planning? And more urgently, can Nicola survive what comes next? Across the square, another storm is brewing, one centered around silence, secrets, and the unbearable weight of truth. Priya, still reeling from the police's decision to drop the investigation into Avani's traumatic strip search, turns to Amy for solace. In a moment of vulnerability, she shares the news and begs Amy not to tell Avani. She's been through enough, Priya whispers. Let her have this moment of peace. Amy, torn between loyalty and honesty, agrees to stay quiet. But fate, and emotion, have other plans. Later, when Amy and Avani share a heartfelt moment and begin mending their fractured friendship, the truth slips out. Not through malice, but through emotion. The moment it does, everything breaks again. Avani feels betrayed, by the police, by her mother, and now by her friend. The fragile trust she was just beginning to rebuild crumbles. Priya, crushed by the fallout, decides she can't stay silent any longer. Fueled by a mother's rage, she storms into the police station, demanding accountability. But her anger nearly gets the better of her, and the situation spirals out of control, until Callum steps in, just in time to stop her from being arrested. As the dust settles, one question lingers. How much more can Priya and Avani's bond endure before it breaks beyond repair? Back at home, in an attempt to lift spirits and restore some sense of normalcy, Priya and Ravi plan a relaxed takeaway night to reconnect with Avani. It's meant to be calm, casual, safe, but the evening quickly takes a left turn. Wanting to make Avani feel like she has some control, Priya unexpectedly gives her the green light to invite a few friends over. It seems innocent enough, until Joel and Tommy show up. And they're not empty-handed. When the vodka hits the table, the mood shifts fast. What began as a wholesome evening turns into a loud, unsupervised teen gathering. Laughter turns reckless. Boundaries blur. And Avani, still emotionally raw from the truth about the strip search, begins heading down a dangerous path. One drink becomes two. Jokes become dares. And what was supposed to be a night of healing becomes a warning sign flashing in bright red. Priya and Ravi, already on edge, find themselves blindsided by just how quickly control has slipped through their fingers. The consequences of this one night could be far-reaching, and for Avani, this may be the first step down a path she's not ready to walk. In a brief reprieve from the emotional chaos sweeping Walford, Harry decides it's time to play Cupid, first for others, then for himself. With his usual charm and misplaced confidence, Harry offers Kojo a crash course in dating tips, doling out questionable advice with the swagger of a seasoned flirt. But it's not long before Harry's own heart takes center stage. His target, Gina. His first approach is clumsy, a mix of awkward compliments and poorly timed jokes. Gina, unimpressed, gives him a look that could curdle milk. But Harry is undeterred. He's not known for subtlety, but he is known for persistence. Later, in a moment of surprising vulnerability, he tries again. This time, it's less about bravado and more about honesty. And to the shock of everyone, especially Harry, Gina says yes. Is this the start of something genuine? Or has Harry just opened the door to yet another romantic disaster? With emotions in the air and secrets around every corner, love in Walford is never simple, and Harry may be in way over his head. Tensions escalate behind closed doors as Nicola and Teddy strike a shady financial deal with Benji, an ominous figure tied to Nicola's hidden past. The pressure is suffocating, and Nicola makes a fateful decision. She'll sell Harry's barn to pay off her debt and silence her accomplice once and for all. But Teddy, sensing something isn't right, makes a move behind her back. In a bold and secretive act, he blocks the sale, believing he's protecting their family. Nicola is blindsided. She feels the ground slipping beneath her feet. Control, her greatest weapon, is now slipping away. Rattled and desperate, Nicola stumbles into the bar, trying to compose herself. But instead of peace, she finds a stranger waiting, a sharply dressed, unfamiliar face who speaks as if he knows her, far too well. The air thickens. Is he from her past? A threat? A blackmailer? A savior? Nicola is left frozen in place, her heart pounding, as the man gives her a knowing look. One that says, "I know what you did." Back at Harry's barn, what should have been a peaceful evening begins to unravel once more. Priya, still emotionally raw from recent events, sits with Ravi for a quiet drink. They share a brief moment of calm, perhaps even connection. But the weight of everything, Avani's pain, the police, her own buried guilt, presses harder than ever. Then Callum walks in with his officers. It's routine, no drama. But to Priya, it feels like a spark to dry kindling. All at once, her composure shatters. She launches into a heated tirade, accusing the force of negligence, racism, and injustice. Her voice rises. Eyes turn. The bar falls silent. Callum, caught off guard, tries to respond calmly, but Priya won't be silenced. Ravi steps in, attempting to defuse the situation before it turns into a full-blown incident. But the damage is done. Priya's meltdown has drawn a line in the sand, between her and the law, between her and her peace of mind. The line between fighting for her daughter and completely losing herself has never been thinner. And tonight, she may have just crossed it. Teenage angst takes a darker turn when Joel offers Tommy questionable advice about girls after mocking his lack of experience. Tommy, impressionable and eager to fit in, begins to drift from his values. Will Joel push him down a dangerous path? In the quieter corners of Walford, Johnny is falling hard. He tells Elaine he wants to pursue something serious with Felix and musters the courage to ask him out. Felix turns him down. He has other plans that night, but the universe has other ideas. When those plans fall through, Johnny and Felix end up spending the afternoon watching a movie together. Johnny almost confesses his feelings, but is cut off by a loud interruption. Will he ever get the chance to speak his heart? After a wild night, Priya wakes up hungover and under fire from Avani, who's furious about her mother's actions at the bar. Suki offers some tough love, take responsibility. Yolande echoes the same advice. Priya swallows her pride and apologizes to Callum. But just as she tries to set things right, Joel throws a curveball. Avani, still searching for control, meets with Declan, a known drug dealer. When she can't pay, he refuses to give her anything. But Joel, watching from the shadows, intervenes. He pays Declan and secures the drugs for Avani. Is this an act of care, or manipulation? What is Joel's real motivation? Later, at number 1, Avani and Barney share a sweet moment, until Joel and Tommy arrive. Things sour quickly when Joel makes an inappropriate comment about Avani. Barney defends her, but Joel twists the story, blaming Barney when Avani walks back in. Hurt and confused, Avani storms off. What follows is a heartbreaking turn. Avani smokes weed with Joel, and he makes a move. Will she fall for his charm, or realize the danger he represents? Next week on EastEnders, every relationship faces a reckoning. Friendships are tested, romances are ignited, and hidden agendas threaten to destroy lives. Will Nicola's past finally catch up to her? Will Priya's attempts to protect Avani only push her further away? And will Johnny get his chance at love, or lose Felix for good? Make sure you don't miss a moment. Hit that like button, subscribe for all the latest EastEnders spoilers, and let us know in the comments, which storyline are you most excited to see unfold? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next breakdown from Walford, where drama never sleeps.